Hey there everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Neil and I'll be showing you a short video of how I installed my chain guide and bash guard combo from MRP. So I've been riding pretty rocky terrain lately in Rockville, and I thought to myself it's time to invest in a good protection for my chainring. So I hope you guys will enjoy the video. So I bought this chain guide and bash guard combo from MRP. This is the AMG V2 and it's the alloy version. It also uses the ISCG mounting tabs. So before you buy any bash guard, make sure your bike has the right mounting style. Most modern bikes today, I believe, uses the ISCG mounts. Also, make sure to get the right chain guide size for your chainring. I've got a 32 tooth chainring and this thing is a 26 to 32 teeth compatible. So if I decide to get a smaller chainring to climb steeper trails, this thing will be compatible. Alright, so let's go into the first part, and I think the hardest part of the install, and that is removing the chainring. Most modern bikes today, they use a 8mm Allen key, and but in most cases it's really tight and tough to apply enough torque to loosen it up. So I found that it's a lot easier if you take your bike off the stand and flip it over, so you can have some leverage. And if you have an Allen key with a handle like mine, you can use a vice grip to get a little more leverage. But if your Allen key doesn't have a handle and it's a simple L-shaped Allen key, you can use a piece of PVC pipe to get more leverage so you can apply enough torque. So once you've done the impossible, it's time to attach the bash guard. Make sure to keep an eye on the washer and the chainring. So these three mounting tabs are the ISCG mounts. So clean the area first and position the bash guard. MRP recommends positioning the chain guide at 12 o'clock to 12:30 relative to the bottom bracket. The bike is inverted, of course, so the chain guide is around 6 o'clock to 6:30 position. Apply the bolts, but don't tighten them up too much, as you may need to reinstall it later to get the perfect fit. You can remove the front of your chain guide to make it easier to reinstall the chainring. You can now replace the washer and the chainring. Keep it a little loose since you still might need to adjust the bash guard later. And you can use some grease and make sure you reinstall the chainring and crank in the right position. Now in this particular model, the chain guide is compatible with 26 to 32 tooth chainring. That's a mouthful. So you can adjust the chain guide using the markers on your chainring size. Alright, so the goal here is to keep the chain from rubbing the chain guide while trying to keep the chain guide as close as possible to the chain. So cycle through your gears and check. Now this is where the spacers with the product comes into place. So the bash guard came with 1mm spacers, about 6 of them, and 3 2.5mm spacers. So first try to add spacers in between the chain guide bolt. So if that fixes the rubbing and it doesn't look like there's a lot of empty space in between the chain guide, then you're done. You can torque down everything to spec and you can ride. However, the tricky part is you can also use the spacers to move the chain guide away from the frame by adding it to the ISCG mounts. You would probably need to do this if you need more than one of the 2.5mm spacers in between the chain guide. So the thing is, you've got to remove and reinstall everything in again, but by doing this you can make sure that there isn't too much space in between the chain and the chain guide that will lose its function. It needs to be snug to keep the chain from falling off. So in my Bronson, I had to go back and install 2.5mm spacers on each of the ISCG slot. Make sure to place it on the frame side, and then on the chain guide I just use a small 1mm spacer in between. So there you have it, guys. It's a pretty straightforward install, especially after you figure out how to remove the chainring. And I think it's a really good investment, especially if you ride a lot of gnarly stuff and rock gardens. Please like this video if you find this video helpful, and subscribe to my channel so I can continue keep making videos like this, and I'll see you guys on the next video.